Tonight we're focusing in on Zoom with Galaxy AI on the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Ah, a baby tiger. Check out his claws as he prepares to pounce on that frog. Close one, but not as close as this Zoom. We can literally count the whiskers and... Oh look, Mum's here. Good thing I'm nowhere nearby. Go wild with Galaxy AI on the new S24 Ultra and zoom in on the epic day or night.
Get yours now at Samsung.com.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Ewan McGregor stars as Count Alexander Rostov in A Gentleman in Moscow, the new limited series based on the best-selling novel. Stream it with the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan. Visit ParamountPlus.com to try it free.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Welcome back to What's Up Waco, the podcast that loves to introduce you to the people, the places, and the properties that make Waco an excellent community to live. Hey everybody, welcome back to What's Up Waco with your local real estate agent, Eric Boisvert, hosting. Today, I get to speak with Gaby Warlick of Gaby's Gotcha. Hello.
Hi, Erica. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Well,
Yeah.
we'll get through this. Don't be nervous. It'll be
Okay.
good. Okay. So we want to talk to people of Waco about your service, your company, your business, what you do.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, Gaby's Gotcha. How? What does Gaby do?
I help guide clients through decluttering their homes, making it so that it's more of a relaxful retreat.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
a place that you can kind of go back and unwind and recharge.
You help everybody find a place for their things and put things in their places.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So organization, I think that's a huge thing for people. It's a very mind relaxing and you don't realize until it's done.
Yeah. You don't realize the impact that your environment has, I think, when you're just always on the go.
Yep.
It matters so much to the way you function.
Oh, 100%. Right?
Yeah.
It's like those things like having your keys by the door. You know, you're going to put them away when you get home. They'll be right there when you grab them to leave. Stuff like that is anything that makes your day easier.
Exactly.
Right? I think one thing I want to point out, though, because I know you get this question a lot, is do you clean houses?
I do not.
You do not?
No.
No. Good.
Do not offer that.
So just to be clear, I just want to make sure because, you know, sometimes people think it goes hand in hand. And in that space, it can be taken care of if somebody wanted to do like their primary closet or their kitchen pantry, right?
Right. So I would come in kind of before the housekeeper if you had one. There's sometimes where I've had clients who have house cleaning services, but they're not able to get to a certain room because it's more of a storage space than it is a living space, or the housekeeper isn't able to really do her job because she's spending so much time trying to tidy up everything. So if that's kind of where you're at,
so I
you can
get
give me
killed.
a call.
Yes, call Gaby. Get that room organized and then somebody can get in it and clean it. And sometimes, you know, you're like me and you're your own housekeeper and you just gave up on that room. Gaby can come in and organize it and breathe new life into it, and you can get in there and clean.
Yes. Get that nice deep clean.
Yeah. I think clean spaces are super relaxing for the mind as well.
Oh, for sure. If you're having a rough day and you can go home and just plop on the couch and there's nothing in your face that's like, I need to get to that.
Right.
It feels a lot better.
Light a candle.
Yeah.
Chill with your favorite show or book or whatever.
100%.
And you contribute to that a lot because I think, you know, there's chaos in your brain that translates to your space and vice versa, right? So if your space is clean and organized, it can help your brain feel better.
Yeah. So I think this really can be for anybody. I do have a lot of clients that have ADHD, so it's kind of like a chronic disorganization, and they just need those systems in place to make it easier for them. But other times it can be something happens in your life where this stuff kind of falls behind.
Yeah.
It's not your top priority anymore. You maybe had a death in the family, or maybe you're a new mom and you just had a baby. Any other kinds of surgery or event, it doesn't always need to be a traumatic event, but something like that,
Mm-hmm.
you need somebody to come in and reset things for you
Sure.
so that you can get back on your feet. I help, I don't know, 50% of my clients with that.
Well, and you know what I like about what you do is, yes, you organize the space and all that entails, but you dive deep with your people. And I think that's an important distinction of Gaby's gotcha. Gaby's gotcha. Like, you have their back in all things. If they need to talk through the event that occurred, if they need to be in the room with you going through items like, after a death in the family, and you help in that way. And I think I'd love for you to share about that, because I think that is a very important distinctive piece of how you operate your business.
Yeah. So there's no judgment involved. I think there's sometimes this stigma that, okay, I shouldn't ask for help.
Yep.
I should be able to take care of this.
Sure.
Yeah. That's not always the case. And I feel like I can kind of reach my clients on that level because of my life experiences, dealing with death in the family, or having been divorced, or I have 2 boys, and my second was a emergency C-section. So I wasn't expecting to have surgery, and I had never had surgery before. So I know what it's like when you're kind of down for a couple of weeks to recover.
And you weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm able to connect in certain ways with my clients when they're going through something like that, because I've been in it, maybe not always to the extent that some others have, but I can certainly feel for that.
I was going to say, enough to empathize.
Yeah.
Right. And definitely, I think you hit it on the head when you said there's no judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. You're there to help. So you expect to find what you find that isn't shocking to you at all, right?
Right. It's human to not have it together 100% of the time.
Right.
That's impossible.
Who can? Who can? There's so much going on in our daily. There's just, that to-do list just gets longer and longer, and things have to fall. Like, you cannot physically get to everything all by yourself at all times.
I think business owners understand that.
Yes.
Because they're able to outsource some of the responsibilities. I'm not sure that everyone else who hasn't had to do that. Yes, you're multitasking. Maybe you're a parent, or you're a caregiver, or you're wearing a bunch of hats at work, but you still feel like there's this expectation that you have to get it all done.
That's fair. Yeah.
And we're bringing in a different perspective to say, no, you don't. And you don't also have to be, some multimillionaire to have somebody come in and help you with that. That's just like hiring a landscaping guy. That's what he does. That's what he's good at. Let him do it. And it may be just a one-time thing. My service sometimes is just a one-time thing and you're done. And then there are others where we're coaching through and it's a process. But,
yes. I think that's the part that's impressive to me. All of it is just, I'm not the most organized, but I see benefits. Like in paperwork and documentation, I'm very organized, but then that's my mind and that's my workspace, right?
Yeah.
But then in my home space, we have 4 kids, 7 dogs, 2 grandbabies. Everybody's in and out. Like, our house is what it is. And so, but I see the benefits of organization, and I see the benefit of delegating and finding somebody to do that. But about your business, I love that. A lot of times people think they have to take emotional things out, right? I'm a professional. I've got to approach this with a business-like manner and no emotion allowed and blah, blah. I'm a robot, right? But you let the emotion in.
Yeah.
When it makes sense.
No, it does, though, because your home is where you get to kind of bring the walls down, right? When you step outside, you kind of have to be guarded. You have to make sure that what you're saying or doing it's okay with other people and everything, but it feels like it's more personal when I'm in there with you. We're going through pretty personal, sensitive things.
Sure.
I mean, I wouldn't be a robot. I think I've had clients where, they break down and I'm like, I'll be your shoulder to cry on.
Mhm.
And I mean, I've had clients where, stories that they tell me and like brings me to tears because it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Which I love. I love that about that you take the time to say, oh, you
Yeah.
put business aside for a second
Yeah.
and you just connect human to human.
Mm-hmm.
And your acceptance of the fact that we all go through stuff. I mean, especially, cleaning out a loved one's home after they've passed, or helping somebody organize their life after a health diagnosis that renders them, really not able to do those things anymore.
Yeah.
That is huge. And I don't think you can. And some people do want you to just come in and be like, here are your containers. This is what I recommend you use. Order those and we'll get it all done. But then you have that part of your business that's a little bit deeper.
Well, it's tailored to everybody is different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a one size fits all situation.
Nope.
I do have clients where they could probably get it done, but their schedule doesn't allow for it.
Sure. Yeah.
And when that's the case, we're probably hands off. I'm in there working on it and they're maybe working from home or doing appointments and such. But my other clients that are like, oh, I have the time, but I just don't even know where to start. This is overwhelming, or I just don't feel like I can do it. And that's when I'm coaching them as we're going, though, to empower them that they can do this.
Mm-hmm.
This is maybe other options that they haven't thought of before when it comes to containers or use of a room. But that's what the consultations are for. We go in and see what this client needs.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we can make a plan.
No, that's awesome. And I think it's important to know that consultations are out there, and, you can call Gaby and Gaby can come in and look at the space and you guys can work out together the best way to approach it. And then always the benefit of having a pro come in is, the little tips and tricks. So when somebody does look at a space and they're super overwhelmed and don't even know where to start, you're immediately like, oh, no. This is nothing. I've seen this before. We're going to start with this. And then, I just like that. It must give people such good peace of mind.
I loved the job that I did yesterday. It was actually a pantry. And when my client walked into it, she kind of wrapped her arms around herself and she said, this feels like a hug.
Aww.
This her pantry. And I was like, okay. There was no emotional ties, no connections to that. There wasn't a super deep thing, but it did make her feel so much better. And later she texted me and said that the energy of the whole house felt different. And
nice.
The pantry is what I did for her. I was actually there to do her daughter's room and help her out. So it makes a bigger difference than you would think. It's not just kind of what you see on TikTok or Pinterest or anything like that. I know there's the aesthetic part of it, but it really matters when you're saving time, when you're saving money, when you're not panicking because where's my driver's license? I can't find it. Or where's my birth certificate? And some important things can get lost in the day-to-day. And I'm there to help you find it. I've helped clients find money before.
No. Like a lot of money? Almost every time?
Almost every time, somehow.
Like checks or cash?
Both.
What?
It's sometimes birthday cards or something that they get sent in the mail and they just haven't checked all the papers.
Sure. And they just kind of ditched it in a pile somewhere.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. Neat.
Yeah.
So they hired you, but then those people got paid.
And then they got something in return.
They're like,
awesome.
yes, a clean space and some extra cash.
Oh,
unexpected joys. No, I think that's great. I love that it's a hug. And I think you're right that, because like in our house, chaos beyond chaos on top of chaos, I have one table under my TV that is clean, clutter-free at all times. I keep like 3 things on it and a couple candles. And that one table, just to prove your point, like makes the rest of the house feel better to me.
Yes.
Right. So I can see how she would walk into her pantry and just be like, and the vibe of the house just changed. Totally passes the vibe check now.
even if it's not like we're able to do the whole house. I've had several who thought, I can try and do my whole house, but because of the other people living in it, their husbands, their wives, their kids,
Yeah.
it's not going to stay this way. And so with that, we do implement systems,
Okay.
but I also break things down so that it's more realistic, more manageable, more accepted. I think is the biggest thing. It's hard for some people to accept that their life can change for the better.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, that was deep.
I tell them, well, let's just start with your bedroom. Let's just start with what you can control, because you can always close the door to your bedroom, or maybe just your bathroom or your closet, and let that be your retreat. Maybe that's where you go to. If you've ever worked in fast food and you go into the walk-in freezer and you're like, oh my gosh, let me just blow it off in here. Let that
every restaurant worker ever knows exactly what you're talking about right now.
Yes. Let that be your space if you think that your whole house can't be that for you.
No, I love that. And every mom is probably like, yeah, I go in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And hide in there sometimes.
I go in the bathroom and that's where I drink my glass of wine, and they can't get to me because I can lock the door in here. But
right? Just little fingers under the.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I think I'm glad you said that as well, that it could be a whole house, but it doesn't have to be.
Oh no, it doesn't. Absolutely not. Because sometimes it is just this one room,
right?
that you just block off
can't
and you
get a handle
ignore,
on.
and you just can't deal with it right now because it's too much. I feel like the garage is everyone's dumping space.
Yeah.
It's not so much where we park our cars anymore.
No.
It's just an extra spot for all of our projects that we haven't finished.
Oh,
and
I'm feeling so seen right now.
well, because you may not always be going through the garage. So, right, out of sight, out of mind.
True.
It's harder to ignore your kitchen when you're in there, but the garage gets kind of lonely.
I'll bet there are a lot of people listening going, yes, agree. My garage needs. And there's so many opportunities out there to find containers and whatnot. But like you mentioned before, it's so, like, where do you begin? Especially in a space that's pretty decent.
Well, you need to buy the wrong you buy this thing, you think it's going to work for you, as seen on TV, whatever.
Right.
And it's like, oh my gosh, this thing sucks. Or I think we talked about it, like gardening. Oh, I can't garden for anything because they all just keep dying. And it's like, well, let's do the research. Let's figure out when and what, and then we'll go from there.
And set a timer to water them.
Yeah. Just scheduling it out and having a system in place. So I do product recommendations for people. I can let them know what to steer clear of and what would actually work better for them based on their lifestyle, right? You said that you have a bunch of dogs. I have one.
Yes.
I have one, so I don't have to worry too much about like a bunch of different size kennels or anything like that. But you get what I mean. It wouldn't work for
like
me,
your house and my
you.
house. No.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And speaking of tips and tricks, we are currently at the end of March, going into like spring and summer. Do you have any like good little tidbits that you keep in your back pocket that you could share with people about good things to do this time of year?
For $9.95, you can
follow Gabby's Gotcha for all tips.
I have a suggestion that if you want to do your garage, go ahead and start it now.
Oh yeah.
Because you see that a lot of people want to get into it in the summertime because you're getting out all your camping stuff, or maybe you're getting out your grilling things.
Sure.
The weather's nice to go and do that, but you haven't actually prepped your garage before that. And 100-degree weather is not when you want to go out there and start building shelves. And
no, I don't even want to walk through it in the summertime. It gets so hot in there.
So just like we're working on our yard right now, so that it'll be ready for the summer, let's go ahead and get into that outdoor space before the heat comes.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's still manageable.
Well, it's still manageable. Yeah. There's some days where it's like, okay, I wouldn't even do it for. I have a lot of respect for people who work outside.
I do too. I don't know, especially in Texas, like how.
Yeah.
And then there's people who really love it. I am not one of those people.
I love it with the right conditions. If you told me I had to go out there when it's like burning hot because that's my job, I would not probably love
You
it.
would not love it.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Okay. So definitely if you're going to start some of those outdoor projects, don't put it off until July.
Yes.
Get into it now and give yourself the time.
Right.
And the conditions.
Right.
Because then also if you get into it and it ends up being something that you thought was going to be like an hour and a half, ends up being 4 hours, you don't feel like death at the end because it's 100 degrees outside.
Oh, for sure.
You're just sore from being old. I'm just kidding. That's just me. Is that just me?
Oh, no. The heat, my first year is when I learned that because it was July, I think. And somebody wanted to do their garage. And then I found out that I was like, I'm not as hydrated
Oh, no.
as I thought I was. But I can help people manage their expectations too. You were talking about whether they thought it would take like an hour or two.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that sometimes where they're like, oh, you can do this in 4 hours, right? No big deal. And I've also had the reverse where a woman thought that this one room might take a whole month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
And I was able to do it in 2 days.
Yeah.
So, we see our problems differently than other people, right?
Yes.
You might think that my coming on here is like, oh, that's so easy. And then for me, I'm like, I'm an introvert. I don't usually do a whole lot of talking in front of a whole bunch of people or anything like that. So it's a big deal for me, not a big deal for you. And that's how it is with people's homes. They think, oh, this is a mountain of mess and we'll never get through it. And I can come in there and say, hey, by Friday, you have your house back.
That is so awesome. She must have just been blown away.
Oh, she was.
Because she was adamant, right? Oh, this is going to be a month.
Yeah, she really thought it would, but kind of like an accountability coach, helping you stay on track because sometimes we just want to give up on ourselves and we don't see the goal.
Okay.
At the end.
You just get lost in the mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Well, that's why I got like a personal trainer because I was like, I'm not going to go to the gym if it's just me. I'm not going to do it. I won't hold myself to that,
Well, it's easy to tell yourself, like, I'll just go later. Yeah. And there's no later. But when somebody's waiting for you to show up, you're like, oh, I got to go. They're already there.
Go. She's there for me.
I paid for this.
Oh, yeah. I paid for this. And, but she's totally worth it. I would
That's so cool.
Pay for it over and over.
Aw.
Because she pushes me, right?
Right.
And in a good way, in a supportive way. And that's what I do for my clients is I support them throughout. I don't say like, you slob, why are you not doing that? No, it's not that. It's like, let's do what we can do today and celebrate the small wins.
Yes. I love that. That's 2024 for us is all about celebrating the small things because why wait for something big? There's something to celebrate all the time, almost all the time. We have down days, but I think also something I love, and I hope listeners are picking up on this is your demeanor. You're just chill, Gabby. You're just
Thank you.
You're quietly approaching things, but so knowledgeable and ready to get it done. Like you're ready to throw down and handle that space, house, pantry, kitchen, garage, whatever. But you're just so calm and collected. It's very zen.
Thank you. I do try and approach things gently, because that's how I would want it for me. I think the last meeting that we went to, and I hope you don't mind me plugging this in. But
no, you're fine. Business Women of Waco. Do it.
Women of Waco.
Sure.
And we were talking about trying out different coaches or mentors. And I can't do the hype girl for even myself. Like I do have some hype friends and I'll call them up maybe if I need that. But when I was going through to pick out my business coach, I needed somebody who could be like me.
Like on your vibe check, right?
The same wavelength.
Same level.
Yeah.
Yes.
I couldn't do the high energy thing because it kind of made me feel like, oh, I'm just exhausted. I must not be to that level. I don't, because you want to kind of meet somebody where they're at.
Yeah.
So if I'm too quiet for somebody, if I'm too quiet for somebody and they need someone who's more like, not a drill sergeant, but a
drill sergeant.
younger,
Let's go.
Energetic. if they're looking for that, that's okay. I might not be the one. That's what the consultations are for.
Yes. Yes.
You get to meet me, I get to meet you, and we get to see whether or not we click.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, I know some other organizers in the area that I can say, hey, I think this person would be great for you. Or if we're great, then let's do this. But I'm not going to be pushy. I'm not going to come in and, I don't know, just set the volume too loud.
That's fair. That's fair. Because I know and I'm the opposite. I'm introvert, extrovert. So I know I'm loud. And I have gone on appointments where friends later would be like, yeah, my husband was like, ooh, she's got a lot of energy.
That was too much.
that was a lot. Still
right.
have the client or whatever, but you're right. And it's I like that you do the consultation first instead of just send me the specs of the space, send me 3 pictures. I'll be there on Monday. I'm going to knock it out. You go in, you talk it through. What are your expectations? What are your goals? Here's what I can do. Do we make sense together? Do we get along? Because you might be in the space with them, right?
Yeah.
So that's really neat. Consultations are important.
They help out so much because what I also find happens is that we'll do a consultation, we'll schedule to get this one room done, and then maybe it meets or exceeds their expectations, and they're like, oh, let's add this room, and then it ends up being like the whole house.
Cool.
But that's why it's customized. You don't have to sign on for the whole house.
Right. Oh, and you've told me that sometimes they'll get to a point like you do daily.
Yeah.
So do you want to get into that about why you kind of at the end of the day summarize?
So I do a daily rate instead of like a whole project package, just because as we're going through, if we're working together, you're not the one that's super busy. You want to work with me. As you go through, you learn all these skills. You're starting to pick up how to do it. So it may be that you wanted to do your 4-bedroom house, but by the time we get done with 2, it's like, oh, I've got this. Yeah. I know how to do this now. I can, and I'm totally happy for that.
Right.
It's not so much about the money. That's a cherry on top kind of deal.
Okay.
It's having everybody feel like they've got it.
Right.
That's why it's Gaby's Gotcha. I want you to be able to feel that way too. It feels really nice to get that stuff accomplished and know that you did it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you were saying the day rate. That's just, I
love that.
It's not like a full committed to the whole house.
Mm-hmm.
If you get to a point where you know what you're doing, we can end there.
Yeah, I think that's so neat because so many people will be like, oh, but the contract says we've got to do the whole house. And you're like, well, you don't really need me anymore. I've done my job and then some.
Yeah.
So cool. Good for you.
Right.
Call me if you need me.
We're there to kind of just establish that routine. I use the analogies to the fitness coach because of that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it's been 2 months, but I'm hoping that after working with Courtney Woodall for a year, I've committed myself to working with her for a year, that after that I've established these habits.
Sure.
And I won't need her. It's the training wheels, right?
Yeah.
I need you to help me get started. And then once I'm used to this habit, I won't need you to be there for me to go, right?
But at the same time, if somebody does say, yeah, I just don't even want to do it.
Right.
Gaby's Gotcha.
I've got you either way.
That's why it works out. That's why I love the name of your business, because it's so much more than just Gaby's organization or, Gaby keeps you together. Gaby's Gotcha. Like whatever way it works out best for your clients, I feel is how you land. Like whatever works out best for them is final and you're good with all of it.
Yeah.
I love that.
You got to be flexible because everybody's different methods, different reasons for why you might keep the snacks on the bottom shelf so your kids can reach it, where I might keep them on the top shelf so my kids can't reach it, right? We got to be flexible. It's not, oh, this is the blueprint of how you do it. It's
100%.
But Gaby's Gotcha actually came from my sister.
Yeah.
She said, you're always saying I gotcha. I think you should call it Gaby's Gotcha. So
I love it. I love
have
it.
her to thank for that.
Well,
for pointing it out to me.
Pointing it out for sure,
Yeah.
because it's really your approach to people
Yeah.
that sets it apart and that makes it you.
Yeah. Thanks.
So no, yeah. So for people to get in touch with you, what is the best way to connect with Gaby?
So they can go to my website,
Sure.
which is gabysgotcha.com.
Boom.
Or they can go check out Facebook.
Mhm.
And I'm also on Instagram.
Okay.
So those are both Gaby's Gotcha.
Very easy. Gaby's
Pretty
Gotcha.
simple.
GABYSGOTCHA.
Yes.
Gotcha. Gabby'sGotcha.com. And that's, I don't know. Did we touch on everything that you wanted to talk about? Did I miss anything?
I'd like to just touch on that mental health is really important.
Yes,
to
ma'am.
this. That there's no shame in asking for help.
None.
And that it's okay to not be okay. I know those are all things that have been trending, but when I started 3 years ago, I thought that I would be helping moms
Okay.
mostly, just because we're usually the ones keeping the house
Everything together.
in order.
Sure.
But throughout, I was going to try and count how many clients I had helped before I got here. But
Yeah.
I know it's over 100.
Whew.
They've been through all sorts of things, all types of people, from seniors to college students to men, women. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anybody living anywhere may need some help, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
To ask for that. And it's the consultations aren't, you're committed to anything. There's no obligation after we meet up. And I'm sure, like you've had clients where y'all became friends later.
Yeah. 100%. Yep.
So the relationship doesn't always end just after
Okay.
that. You can call me or text me anytime if you've just got a question. You don't need me to come out and do a whole job. But I had a lady I helped, I don't know, a year or two ago, and she said, "What should I do about this part of my cabinet?" And that's okay. You can just reach out.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, this is what I would suggest.
Yeah.
Very cool. I think I love the mental health aspect that I hope if people get anything from this, it's that the consultation is just judgment free.
Yeah.
You being there doing the work is judgment free. And it's very evident, I think, in talking to you that you just want to be of service and help people.
Yeah.
And however that looks. And so
I didn't mention that it's also confidential. I have like a confidentiality agreement.
Wow, okay.
People don't know that you've worked with me unless you've said that you've worked with me. I
Very
don't
cool.
go and say, so and so in this street with this house or anything like that. It's all very vague.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you want to leave a review, then people will know. Oh,
right.
Okay.
And reviews are helpful.
Reviews are helpful. I like to put that out there. People can sign it. They can, say which way they feel about it.
Nice.
Some people don't care. Like, oh, it's just my pantry. I don't care. And then there are others where their job, it actually requires that we can't talk about things that were in that house.
Ooh, intriguing.
I know.
But now I can't ask. I know.
Yeah.
That kills people like me because now I have 20 more questions.
Well, now and then, if you do follow on Facebook, I do when I keep up with that part of the daily postings. I do post, but I mean like the stories and stuff. I'm working on that.
That's a lot.
I try and put fun finds.
Okay.
And that's with permission from the clients, but you never know what you're going to find in a suit of armor. In someone's living room recently was
like a knight in shining armor. What? That's cool.
Or the M&M Christmas lights, string lights. Do you remember that from the 90s?
No.
Was the M&M guys.
Yeah. Yes, I remember that.
They're on this Christmas light.
That's funny.
They're the bulbs.
That's so cool.
And that's so neat.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like time traveling and going through and finding stuff
I'll bet.
It's fun. I love it.
That's so cool. No, I love that. Okay, so fun finds are in your stories.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be super fun to check out.
Awesome.
All right.
Well,
How do
thank
you
you
feel?
so much. Erica.
No, thank you. I'm glad you came on. We've been working on this for a while, y'all. So I'm glad Gaby made it out. And I hope you guys reach out to Gaby when you need to organize a space or just consult about possibly organizing your home, your office, your pantry, your guest bedroom that you forgot even exists, and you just keep piling stuff in there and no guest can stay there.
The craft rooms.
The craft rooms, all the places that just needed a little extra touch. Give your brain a break. Gaby's Gotcha. Check her out at gabysgotcha.com or follow her on Facebook and Instagram, Gaby's Gotcha. As always, if you have any real estate questions or are just curious about Waco, reach out to me, Erica, at Boisvert Realty Team on Instagram and Facebook. And thank you for listening. And that is What's Up, Waco.
Do you have a topic you want to talk about? Do you have questions about Waco, the real estate market, how to sell your house, what to look for when you're buying a home? Send me an email, ericasellstexas@gmail.com. Shoot me a text, 254-447-0180. Happy to chat about it. Find me anywhere you listen to your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.